My dad stole my identity and opened 3 credit cards in my name. He told me since I'm young, I can do without for a few years. I'm trying to buy a house and I'm freaking out. Jail, divorce, police, file a case. I don't understand parents who, this is not the first credit theft story I've heard from parents with a child, but unfortunately it's not the last either. Continue. I found my dad used my information to open 3 credit cards over the last year. When I went to get a pre-approval for a mortgage, I was told by the lender they wouldn't be able to give me a home loan because of the defaulted credit cards. They also said I probably wouldn't be able to get a loan from any lender because of it and gave me a sheet of paper explaining what I need to do in order to fix it. When I tried disputing the cards, one of which is already in collections, the disputes got closed out as debts were verified. I told my divorced parents about it, and their answers were pretty wildly different. My dad said these things happen and that I should be more careful in the future with my social security number. Seeing as I've always been careful, that made me pretty mad. My mom says she thinks my dad might have something to do with it since him opening credit cards in her name had a part to play in their divorce. She told me he ran up about $50,000 in credit card debt on secret credit cards. A few days ago, I ended up casually telling my dad that I'm going to have to file a police report for the credit cards. He told me I probably shouldn't do that because $15,000 isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. When I told him it was keeping me from buying a house, he said I could just wait a few years until they fell off my credit report. He said it would only take another 4.5 years. When I told him I obviously couldn't wait that long, so I will have to file the police report, he straight up told me not to do it and just told me to be careful in the future. Once I told him I already got the paperwork together from the credit agencies, he told me he had opened the cards to pay for living expenses over the last year. He said his work slowed down a bit, but he'd do what he could to help pay it off. He said it would ruin his life if he went to jail. I'm leaning towards going to the police anyway, but I didn't right that minute. I have everything in front of me today to go make the report. I guess I just want to make sure turning it over to the police is the right thing to do, especially if I'm wanting to buy a house this year. Next sentence. Update. I went to the police. Any parent who is selfish enough to do that to their child deserves to go to jail. The process itself was pretty easy. I went to the police department and the person at the front desk had me wait about 10 minutes before an officer came out. We talked for about 15 minutes and he made copies of all the paperwork I gave him. He told me that the case would be assigned to a detective and gave me a pamphlet they have about how to contact the credit agencies. I was given a report number and was told I could use that now to start disputing the accounts. A detective is going to follow up with me in the next couple of weeks. I asked what would end up happening to my dad, and the officer said it looked pretty clear-cut to him, but the charging decision is 100% with the state attorney's office. He said if they decide to pursue charges, he'll likely get a warrant put out for his arrest. He also said typically if this is his first felony, he's probably going to get some sort of pre-trial diversion with court supervision or probation. He probably won't go to jail for years, but if he gets picked up on a warrant, he's going to spend at least a little bit of time behind bars. I've decided I'm okay with that because it's obvious to me he did this purposefully. He's never been arrested before, so hopefully this is a wake-up call for him. At the same time, he completely did this to himself. My sister-in-law tried to hijack my son's birthday party for her gender reveal. My husband and I have 2 children, both boys, now age 11 and 14. My husband's younger sister now has 3 children, age 7, female, 5 male, and 3 male. The year my youngest son was turning 4, he asked for a birthday party. He was not in school and so he did not know anyone but family, and there were no children other than his brother that were able to attend. Luckily, his favorite people in the world are Grandpa and Grandma, Dad's parents. Grandma is like a big kid. She's super fun and energetic. She acts much like a kid herself and my boys adore her. I knew they were very busy, so I asked them several months in advance if they would be able to attend his birthday party. The party was to be on his birthday. This is important. Being the wonderful grandparents they are, they agreed and requested that time off from their jobs. We also invited all close by family, including my sister-in-law, the entitled mother of the story. Months go by and it's now about a week and a half before my son's big day. I've bought the decorations, planned the menu, and pumped him up. I like to sing a final countdown song as I prepare breakfast in the morning. One afternoon, I received a call from my sister-in-law who was about to find out the sex of her baby. She's pregnant with baby number 1. She wants to plan a gender reveal party, but she's called her friends and family and discovered that most work and can't attend without several weeks' notice from their jobs. The only day everyone just so happens to have off is my son's birthday. Would I be willing to move my son's birthday party to another day so she can have her party? At this point, it may bear mentioning that she already has 3 baby showers planned out and has asked me to make the food out of pocket for one of the showers. Most people being asked to attend her gender reveal party were already attending multiple baby showers for her. I am pretty friendly and passive. This caught me very off guard. I tried to gently tell her that my son was looking forward to this and we've planned it for months, which is why everyone had it off from work. She feigned sympathy but still urged me to please move my son's birthday party to a time that everyone could later attend and let her have this open day for her party for her first baby while you've already had two. Besides, my youngest son loves babies and would want to go to her party too. He could still come to my party and see everyone he loves and then get to do it all over again when everyone can request time off. I didn't have time to gather a response as she steamrolled over me saying, okay, if they want to go, I won't make them come to your son's party, but I can't go to your party. We have plans. And her responding, thanks. I was angry. She had pulled this kind of thing with other people before. I have tons of stories. But she had always really loved my boys and never tried this with me, or not to this extreme way. I didn't know how to react other than to vent to my husband, which is her brother, who wasn't surprised at all and said not to worry and that their dad would set her straight. Funny enough, I was talking to my husband when I saw him, father-in-law, calling the phone. I answered and he said that my sister-in-law had told him that I had no problem with her hijacking my son's birthday and that I had insisted she have the party and everyone go to that one instead of my son's. He said if this was true that they would attend her party, but he would way rather go to the party of my son. He'd already gotten presents and they were excited about celebrating a kid that's already here on his big day. I very happily told him that I was never going to cancel his birthday or make him sit through someone else's party on his big day. I mean, he's 4 and I've been counting down for him every morning. What kind of monster would I be? I said that I had told sister-in-law that people could go to that if they preferred, but that we wouldn't be attending. He said that sounds about right and told her he's going to my son's party since he requested time off for that, and if she wants another party another day to give him notice. Canceled or never really organized the party, and then talked about me behind my back to anyone that would listen for years to follow. You know, gender reveal parties can happen at any time during your pregnancy. You don't have to have it at a certain time frame, right? That day didn't work for you? Okay, wait months later. I'm not responsible for your poor planning. Why would you want to hijack a 4-year-old birthday party? Have you no sympathy?
This one comes from, am I wrong? Was I wrong to say what I said to my niece for trying to guilt trip me out of a gift I was given? My sister and her youngest kid, 12 female, came to stay with me for 8 days at the condo I'm staying in, off and on while working on a project at a popular tourist destination. Since I am working with the company, I was able to allow her to do some typically costly things for free throughout their stay. During the time I was with them, I witnessed multiple instances of my niece begging, whining, guilt-tripping, and trying to wear down my sister until she would give in and buy her some expensive, unnecessary item. My sister laughed and told me this child has so many toys that floor-to-ceiling storage on 3 walls of her bedroom cannot contain them all. She would also insist on ordering exotic/unfamiliar food that her mother would warn her was not to her liking, wind up disliking it to no surprise, and then demand my sister's or even my food, or just reach over and take things off of our plate without even asking. If my sister bought herself a drink, my niece would whine until she got another ice cream. If my sister needed to get a hat for the son, my niece demanded a stuffed toy. Sometimes she would decide she liked the thing my sister had more than the one that she had, like with her food, and would harass her until she was given both items and my sister had to buy another. My sister and her husband do pretty well, but they're not millionaires or living debt-free. So this was bugging me. Also, my sister repeatedly giving in was bugging me because, as a child, I was repeatedly told to hand various belongings or treats over to her, ironically, because she was younger and a girl, and simply wanted them. Not that I agree, my father was mostly to blame for that. It gave me a complex, I guess, because I don't like receiving gifts. It makes me feel guilty. I feel I don't truly need/deserve them, and it's better to give them to others and save your money. I have no problem giving gifts, but I always feel awkward and guilty taking them from others. So my sister begs me to choose something from this place I've been hanging around for months, over the past year or so, and I couldn't think of anything I wanted, other than this one hat I had seen that I could easily have bought for myself, or just asked somebody from the company for it, if I wanted to do that, but it was a cool hat. I liked the design on the front of it. I just showed her the hat, and she bought it for me. At the same time, she bought my niece a backpack. She had repeatedly asked my niece if she wanted a hat as well, and she was fixated on the cheap backpack instead, so she got that. As soon as we left the area, I got the hat out and put it on, and my niece immediately announced that she really liked that hat. I thanked her. We were heading back to the condo, and it was their last night. The entire ride back, she carried on about how she thought my hat was awesome, and then she began to tell us how she found the backpack uncomfortable. I knew what she was up to, and I just smiled cheerfully and played dumb. I could have sent her another identical hat in the mail, but I was not going to give in to her again. I would have never put up with this kind of behavior out of either of my kids, who are now college-aged, and it was making me angry. Finally, the next morning, as I was helping them pack, and she was still carrying on about the hat and how she wished she had chosen that, etc., I turned around and tossed it up the hall towards the room she had been staying in, where her stuff was still all over the floor, and I said, "Okay, fine, just take it." I said it in an angry, exasperated type of tone. I said I've never seen anybody so hellbent on making sure that nobody else can have anything nice but them. I told her her behavior was both greedy and entitled. That's all I got out before my sister came storming out of her room and yelled, "Stop calling my kid names." I told her I wasn't calling her names. I was accurately describing her behavior. I said at this point, I'm convinced the assumption here was that I was just going to give her the hat. But I'm not, because how she acts is downright disgusting, and could she ever imagine either of my kids behaving like that? How does she think I would react? My sister apologized in a "I'm sorry you see it that way" type of manner, but hasn't spoke to me since she left. My niece was angry and refused to talk to me at all until they were gone. She said some sarcastic crap under her breath that I chose to ignore. I feel I was 100% within reason to say what I said. I'm curious what internet strangers think. Sorry, this is long as hell.
I don't know, man.
Am I the asshole for breaking up with my ex-boyfriend because he tried to tamper with my birth control?
No.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's not a good thing to do.
That's something you can't do.
I, 23 female, broke up with my boyfriend of almost 2 years, Todd, 26 male, on Sunday, 2 days ago. I broke up with him because, as the title suggested, he tried to mess with my birth control. I told Todd that I intended to be child-free until I obtained my PhD and get a position with tenure at a university. I told him I was on birth control and I had no intention of getting off of it, and that it would be better if we doubled up with condoms, and he said okay. 2 days ago, we were chilling in my apartment and I told him I was going to take a bath and listen to one of my audiobooks. I heard the microwave go off and I thought that Todd was making mac and cheese or something. I hopped into the tub and was about to start when I remembered I have a bath bomb that I was gifted at my friend's baby shower. I got out of the tub to get it from my room and I found Todd messing with the pill packet I keep next to my bed. I have a missing gallbladder after several attacks, and I have to take prescription laxatives sometimes to be able to control my poop. The package looks similar, and by similar I mean almost the exact same to a birth control packet, including the silver foil and the color of the pills. I asked him what he was doing and for him to hand me my pills. The package was warm. I asked him what the hell he was doing with my pills, and he broke down about how he's successful in his job and I should want to have a family with him after 2 years. I told him to get out of my apartment, and before I slammed the door on him, let him know that I have an arm implant birth control and that he microwaved my shit pills. I blocked his number, but he's been contacting me through my university email and is refusing to take no for an answer when he apologizes. His mom's been texting me, as well as some of his friends and his sisters, telling me I'm juvenile for breaking up with him when I knew he wouldn't have been successful in tampering with my birth control because I wasn't on the pill anyway. I feel so angry and violated, but they're right, nothing would have happened. I'm starting to think I overreacted. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for lying to my husband that my sister is cooking the food he pays $750 a week for when it's me who cooks?
Why is she lying?
Why the f*** you lying?
Why you always lying? Oh my gosh. Stop f***ing lying.
So my sister is a personal chef for some upper middle class families, mostly lawyers and doctors who work 24/7, but still want home cooked healthy meals. My husband always complains about my disgusting food and calls me worthless in the kitchen.
Whoa.
Every time we're invited to my sister's or my mom's, he would bite my head off about how they're better. I know for a fact that I'm as good, if not better, because I was taught from the same chef, my mom, who is literally a genius. I had it up to here and said, fine, we can pay my sister for dinner. So for a year now, he's been paying $750 a week to pay my sister. When he comes home, he starts raving about how the whole apartment smells amazing from the delivered food and that only now he looks forward to coming home for dinner. The thing is, it smells amazing, yes, but it's because the food is made in my kitchen by me.
Oh my God, I love her.
The only thing that has changed is that I put my sister's name on it and bagged the money. Ha ha ha, not even sorry. He's happy, I'm richer, and my sister finds the whole thing amusing. Everyone wins. She even offered me a job to work for her too.